Hey everyone, and welcome to the Jumping Through Hoops podcast with me, Hannah Charlotte, and also my husband, Tom Murphy, who has never spoken on camera before, I don't think, have you? Apart from with colleagues at work. So, a bit nervous.
This is take 45. So
Yeah, this is take 45. No, in all seriousness, we have decided to talk a little bit about life and relationships, marriage, parenting, and also does have quite a story, don't you? You've got quite an inspiring story, really. Your life story. You have. Well, me obviously.
that's it. There's no much to finish it off there.
But I want to introduce you to my husband. So I'm going to let you do the talking. Just introduce yourself, Tom. So say hello to everybody on the podcast show.
Hello, I'm Tom, as Hannah's already introduced me. You probably pretty much know everything about me through Hannah. She probably shares a lot with the children, etc. I don't know what else to say, Hannah. I don't know.
What else to
Are
say?
you going to stop the video again and tell me how I did take 46?
We did take 46. No, we're going to carry on talking. So basically, let's just talk a little bit about, first of all, how we met, because we've been married 11 years now. We've got 3 children, and we met in, God, what year was it?
Well, you chased me, first of all.
No, I didn't chase you. You keep saying this. I didn't chase
Chased
him.
me.
He chased me because he moved here to me.
No, it happened
So
before that, though.
that's chasing me. It is. Right. How do we meet?
We met in Florida.
We met in Florida.
So Hannah was, I think it was in the Flight School Cafe.
Flying School Cafe.
Yeah. So I think I was getting some dodgy cheese sandwich. I think, what did they call it over there? Like it's like a toasty, but they put in the deep fat fryer. It's absolutely awful. It's like whew. That was my first and only experience of that. But you were planning a flight or something.
And then we had a walk to the garage, didn't we?
No, that was after. It was after.
Where was it?
That was the Subway and the 7-Eleven.
Oh, the Subway and 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You wanted someone to chaperone you because you were afraid someone was going to jump out and eat
an
you.
alligator, yeah.
Yeah, an
So
alligator,
it's like a
yeah.
lake next to it, yeah.
So I was the sacrificial Irish lamb. There you go. I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. So that was in 2009 we met in the December. So I was over there.
No, 2009.
It was 2009 that we met. We didn't get together at that point. I actually had a different boyfriend at the time.
I think I came with 4 boyfriends after that.
We were good friends, and then I went back to finish my license off in
2010.
February, wasn't it, of the 2010, the following year. And you happened to be there at the same time, which was a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we kind of formed a friendship, didn't we, then, I think. And we stayed touch afterwards. Obviously, I had just been made redundant from my job at the time. I was a single mum with a little girl. And, you know, there was something about you. You were very caring.
Yeah.
Very caring.
I'm going to make more of these videos.
And we stayed in touch just through like messaging, and I think that was it really up until like the summer. Like, wasn't until that summer of that following year that we actually met up, wasn't it, and kind of got together. And then I think from there it all kind of happened quite quickly. You lived in Dublin. I was obviously in the UK on the south coast, and you moved over fairly quickly, probably within about 6 months of being together. You moved over to be with me in England. And
Well, I came and visited you for, a couple of days. The sun didn't stop shining. And I said, well, I'm out of Ireland. All it does there is rain.
yeah,
So I come over here. No, it wasn't that, was it? It was like the whole thing in America. We went over a second time. We met. We stayed in touch. I think I was helping you with your flying and helping you plant stuff. Then I came over here to do some form of jet training, to do an interview at Ryanair. And that's kind of how we kind of got together, really, wasn't it? Was that? So
Yeah.
Hannah came and met me, chased me.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of, we stayed in touch, and then you came over to me a few times. Brought Angelina as well once.
Yeah.
At the time. Met me in my lovely penthouse flat in Dublin. And I wasn't a penthouse flat. It was a masonette, wasn't it? Still lovely. Living with my mum. I was all grown up then. But yeah, I kind of kicked off from there, really. We stayed in touch. One thing kind of led to another, and then I moved over here pretty quick.
Yeah, and it all kind of been married now for 11 years. So it's been an adventure, hasn't it?
Yeah. You can see Ange in the background, look. Coming in to have a look at us.
Our kids are listening in,
Yeah.
seeing what we're saying. We're going to embarrass them. We are embarrassing you.
Tell them all their secrets.
Yeah, so it's quite funny because we were both training to be pilots. Well, you'd already qualified as a pilot, and that was, you were certain that was the career you were going to follow, and I wanted to follow that career path too. And it's funny because neither of us ever ended up doing it. We've never done it, have we? We've completely followed crazy paths instead. We've gone on that whole entrepreneurial journey instead and become coaches, business owners. I mean, that's what you are. You're a coach, aren't you? So you might want to explain what type of coaching you do. It's probably similar in a way to me, I suppose, but you work more with companies, don't you, and more corporate businesses?
Yeah, I'm very corporate, kind of polar opposite sometimes. You're more kind of in touch with your spiritual side and doing coaching and that, but I kind of do more corporate coaching, system coaching, very kind of corporate. But I enjoy it. I'm still talking to people every day. That's where we're quite similar. And when you talk to people every day, you kind of get a natural kind of, friendship going, professional friendship, but you start to understand people. And the coaching element really is kind of same thing, setting goals with people, keep them accountable for their goals. So pretty similar in that respect, but from the outside in, I'm very corporate.
From the outside, it is a very corporate. I watch what you do and I listen to some of your, like, the language and stuff, and it seems is different to me, but I would say that you're trying to tap in, aren't you, more to that spiritual side and the mindset you're trying to, I think.
I've always been spiritual, I think, but I think you're just shocked that I can pronounce some of those words, really. No, but I've always been spiritual. I've never been really religious, more spiritual. I've always believed if you live a good life and you're kind to people, that if there is something on the other end of this, that they'll look after you. You know what I mean? That's my true belief. So I've always been spiritual. I try to bring that into a lot of what I work. I'm always pleasant. I mean, I would say thank you, but I always go out my way to appreciate people.
Thank you.
Well, not to you, because you're giving out to me, huh? But no, that's kind of who I am, and I kind of bring that spiritual side into work, and I think that's what makes me largely successful a lot of the times with the people I work with.
Yeah, I suppose for me, it's like I'm almost like we're very much the feminine and the masculine, aren't we? We're the yin and yang together, and I think that's why we do work. But
do we?
Well, we do. We're still together, just. But you do help me when it comes to my business. You help bring in that strategy, masculine energy side of things, and when it comes to you, I think I help you tap in and open up to more of that feminine side of things and help you see. He'll say no, but he does. We have conversation. We have quite deep conversations, don't we, about things, about life.
No, we do. Yeah, I like helping you with everything. I like you listening to some of my problems and giving me some counsel. You're very harsh, Tom. You know what I mean? But because I do have that Dutch blend in me, don't I? Because I was born in Holland, so sometimes it can be direct, which is sometimes it's funny, I guess. People say it's quite funny sometimes, but Hannah does pull me up in it from time to time. Just
explain for a minute, because people are going to be like, "Hang on, you're Dutch, but you're speaking with an Irish accent."
Oh yeah, double Dutch when I have a few drinks. I was born in Holland. Tommy van der Murphy. No, it was my mother was Dutch. I was born there, lived until I was 14, 15, I can't really remember. Moved to Ireland. My mum was afraid I was going to get bullied. So she put me in the same school as, because I had a big, thick Dutch English accent. So she put me in the school with all my cousins who went to a fairly rough school. Not really rough, but just an ordinary school. And I picked up the language and the lingo pretty quick. And that's why I have a strong accent.
You've got a blended accent. And
beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So talk a little bit about your story, if you're happy to share it. Obviously,
what part?
Well, you've been on quite a journey. So obviously now you're working for yourself, you're freelance contractor, aren't you? You work for
Yep.
several businesses, quite large corporations actually.
Yes, I do.
I
Very important.
probably shouldn't name them just in case. But you think where you came from to where you actually are now, or where we are now. We kind of done this. I believe we've done this together, as haven't we, as a almost co-creation. So obviously, as my business grew, I was growing that on the side. Like when I first met you, actually, and I'd just been made redundant. I just started my first business. It was a beauty business, and so I was growing my business constantly, and you were kind of doing your thing as well, and growing and evolving constantly as well. But I think there was a defining moment, wasn't there, when your mum died, which I think was a real test. I mean, it was a test for our relationship. It was also a test for you, I think. And you,
it was a shit time. It really was. It was like my boy. Do people know his name? Archie. He was I don't know how this works.
Do you know your son's name?
No, but I don't know if you share that kind of information.
Oh yeah,
yeah, okay. But he was in nursery, and the nursery was attached to a private school. Yes, we're very la-di-da now. But I was attached, and we found out there was lots of boys going into the school he was meant to be going to, and I spoke to my mum. My mum said, no, keep him in that school, it's a really good school, blah, blah, blah. I'll pay for it. Started in September, and then she passed away in December. I was like, oh shit. Well, what am I going to do now?
Well, yeah, obviously it was more of a loss. Your mum went, and
obviously it was a loss, but was it's when the financial burden kicks in, you're going, hang on, there's a payment due in whenever it is.
We certainly weren't in the position. No. So just rewind back when you first moved over, we really had nothing. Like when you first, you were living with your mum at the time. I was on benefits as a single mum with a young child, just started my business, and I was really not making a lot of money. And you'd moved over to be with me. You signed on at the job centre. We found your application, didn't we, for the job centre when we were moving house? We just found that. And
the jobs I applied for.
Yeah. So we really had nothing to our name, did we, at the time? Like nothing. And we kind of were just sort of living on the breadline, I suppose, really, weren't we? We really were.
Yeah.
You think about how we, like 11 years ago, how we were living compared to how we are now. And that really is just through pure, I say, determination and I suppose commitment to improving our lives and having better for.
That's mindset. I think it's mindset. I think we always look at stuff that initially isn't attainable, and then we manifest it. Well, I certainly manifest. I look at stuff, and what's the example I gave you? It's silly things, but I'll give you an example. It's like there was a certain car I wanted at the time. I kept thinking about it. And you start kind of creating a world around you that's going to be able to kind of fund that car at the time. Sounds silly now, but when I look back into my past, I can see that I've done that quite a lot. I've done that quite a lot. So yeah, so
that is manifesting, isn't it? That is manifesting. It's not silly because that is how you manifest.
Yeah, but I never went intentionally manifesting. I got to manifest, and I mean, I just always thought about it and kind of picture myself driving and all that. And people go, you're bonkers. But I did it. And people when I was at school say, you never be a pilot. You shouldn't be in the higher maths group or do this. And all the subjects I picked to school was I'd done physics, I'd done geography, I'd done English. I said, no, don't do that. Do kind of tech drawn or metal work. And I said, no, I want to be a pilot. We're not going to, must put me like soldering something together when I want to fly a plane. But I always picture myself in that airplane, flying that airplane, and guess what? I ended up going to America, doing everything, and actually got the money to pay for all that, mostly myself. So you're always really a huge manifester.
Manifested me. But yeah, when we first met, as I said, we didn't have much. You live with your mum in Dublin. You didn't have much with her. She didn't have a lot.
No, at the time, I did live with my mum in Dublin, and I didn't have a lot of money because I put so much money into bloody flying.
Yeah.
Flying, I was trained to be a pilot. Every bit of money you make goes into flying, and it's like a black pit, really. Really, looking back at it, I wouldn't change it because I wouldn't be here now, because I wouldn't have met you over there, would I? But I think it's just But I think we're going off topic a little bit.
No, it's all relevant because that's how we met, wasn't it? Through flying. We were
It
both
makes me
training to be-
squirm to think how much money I spent on flying. It's just
It was worth it because look what happened. You met me, and you know. So
a high ticket item,
exactly.
huh?
No, we both did our try. You spent more money than me at the end of the day because you went further with it, but neither of us are actually flying. But I think what we actually learned from me, I can speak for myself anyway, what I learned through it, the resilience it gave me, the confidence, I suppose, that it gave me.
It's scary, though.
Yeah.
People talking at you really fast. I mean, turn left, turn to this heading, descend, do this. Whoa!
Yeah, I mean, it certainly gave me confidence, and
I learned how to speak properly. You didn't understand me. Can you say again? Say again.
yeah,
Yeah.
but no, like rewind back to when we first got together, we were definitely,
Oh no, we were going to your mum and dad's all the time. Eat
Raid
everything
the
out of the
fridge.
fridge. Yeah. That's how it was, and then we always pictured of having bigger and better, and we did stuff we couldn't even afford at the time, and we started building that kind of enabling things around us to be able to have the life we always really wanted.
I think the way we overcame hardships, if you think about it, we've not done things perfectly. We've had some awful times, haven't we? We really have. And I think probably save some of those for other podcast episodes because they're quite, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff.
Netflix stuff.
It's a Netflix series. but really, I suppose what we're trying to sort of get a point across here is that anything is achievable, isn't it? If you think about where we were when we first met, and we were in our mid-20s then, and where we went from there. Now you've just turned 40 this year, just turned 38. And actually in almost, I suppose it feels like it was yesterday, for me it does anyway, but where we went from there to living on the breadline to me doing car boot sales just to be able to rake in some pennies to be able to go and do a food shop or get Angelina's milk at the time or whatever it was, to now being here living this life, which I would say is a life of abundance, isn't it, that we've now created for ourselves. No one's given it to us. We had to go out there and get this.
Oh, you've worked pretty hard for it.
Yeah, it is through like sheer, well,
Oh,
determination, I would say.
Yeah, but I mean,
We were determined. We didn't give up either. You were off doing your thing, trying to build your business, and I was building my business, and we kind of help each other and
work hard, play hard.
Wow. Yeah, I just
It
think
really
play hard.
is.
Play hard.
You just play hard all the time, man. Hard to get.
But yeah, obviously you were born in Holland, you moved to Dublin. I mean, I'm telling your story, but you tell your story, and obviously the hardships, things that you've actually overcome in your life, because people probably don't understand, or people don't know you yet.
Okay, I'm guessing you want me to talk about my parents passing away.
Yeah, I think it's quite relevant because I think probably that gave you that driving force, didn't it?
Yes, yeah, well, yeah, it did. My mum and dad were never wealthy. They kind of lived on the breadline their whole lives as well. I remember just eating beans and toast and all that kind of stuff for many days in a row. But yeah, I was born in Holland, lived there till I was 14, 15, as I said. Then we moved to Ireland. I was there for, how long was I there for? For my father passed, I think it was probably 2 years. My mum and dad broke up as soon as we got there, which was great. And then my dad passed away from a heart attack. He was obese. He was proper fat. He liked to usually binge drinking. He'd go on a bender for 4 or 5 days, and he had one bender too much, unfortunately. But he didn't help himself by his diet. He was quite heavy. You keep telling me to look at that green light, don't you? I keep looking away. And then so I had a kind of a frosty relationship with my mother after that, because I felt like she took me out of Holland and took me to Ireland when I didn't want to go, because my whole Dutch family is still over there and still are actually over there. And then I kind of slowly started to rebuild our lives after my dad passed away when I was 15. Then my mum got quite sick in between that. She had like a hysterectomy and that kind of stuff, so I had to move away for 6 to 9 months. So that was quite difficult. Came back when she felt better. And then she had like a partner, fell out with a partner a few times, fisticuffs, which I'm not proud of. But you're a teenager, you don't think properly, do you? And then yeah, I went on, done all the flying, met Hannah, and then yeah, Archie came along, was great. And then Adriana was on the way, and I think Hannah was what, 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And then my mum passed away. She'd had a massive battle with cancer, and she kind of overcame it, and she got the all clear, didn't she? In June, July, and then she was terminal by September, I think, October time. So all happened pretty fast, but they were a tough couple of, I would say, definitely a tough 15, 16 years.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the bumpiness that got me here. Probably that built up a lot of resilience in me. Everyone goes through it, right? Most people lose their parents, but I lost my parents quite young, which is hard because I fall out with Hannah probably twice a day. But I got no one to bounce off. You know, Hannah's got her sister, she's got her mum, even her dad, and they'll all side with her. And
Yeah, she died.
I've worked that very well, haven't I? But that's the hard part. But now I've got kids and all that, so my attention is well placed with them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's given me the resilience, the determination to know that doesn't matter how shit things are, there's always an upside. If you work hard enough, you can come out of it. I'm quite confident of everything got taken away from me today. I can start again tomorrow and build something else and have all this back in a couple of years' time. This is my belief, and yeah.
I do think there's this saying, isn't there? And I personally believe that when you've experienced, I don't think you have to experience rock bottom to succeed in life, but I think when you have experienced rock bottom, it almost takes away your fear. And that's why people that have been at rock bottom tend to not have fear of taking the risks, because they've already been there. So they know that they've been there already. What's the worst that's going to happen, type of thing.
I don't think I hit rock bottom. I just think when you're younger, you got puberty contend with, you got all these, chasing girls, and then you get to a stage where you go, oh, I got to build a life and have a family. I don't want to die miserable alone. All that kind of stuff starts to come to your mind. And then on top of that, I had like a lot of bereavement in my kind of inner circle, my parents. I didn't have any brothers and sisters to bounce off. I had cousins who were very good, very, very good to me, but they're not my siblings. So that's what makes it hard. And you kind of realize, going, oh, well, there's no one here to support me. I just need to get on with it. And yeah, and then obviously when my mum, the harder one was my mum dying. It was terrible because Hannah was pregnant, baby was around to arrive, and so we didn't even have money when Adriana arrived, really, did we? Yeah, we had Archie going to private school, but my mum was paying for it. And it's like that all happening. It's like, oh my God, what do we do now? Well, I can feel sorry for myself or just get on with it. And I left my job, didn't I? Got a job as a contractor so I could make twice the money, to build money really quick, to be able to kind of fund that. Well, Archie going to school, but also a new baby arriving, buying bloody nappies. Jesus, they're expensive. And that kind of stuff.
Yeah, at the same time, I was kind of building my business still while obviously having a young baby.
And we just bought a flat.
Yeah, we just moved house as well. And it was all kind of happening, wasn't it? And my business slowly started to build around that time. That was probably when Adriana was a young baby.
You were doing the hula hooping in school, weren't you?
Yeah, big bump.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a roller coaster, but then I think everyone's lives are. That's what life is, isn't it? Life is a roller coaster, and everyone has a story to tell. But I think it's how you use that story, really.
Yeah, it's Well, I believe in this thing called fail fast. It's like, if you do fail, what do you learn from it? And it's the same with having like a bereavement. If something happens, what do you learn from it? How do you learn to cope from that? How do you use that moving forward? I mean, I find that I deal with corporate businesses, and sometimes you get people shouting at you. I mean, sometimes you get people just crying. Well, being able to deal with that, but using the experiences of life as well, that helps you be able to deal with that. Not that I'm a cold bee, but I have empathy sometimes. But no, you just learn how to navigate those waters, don't you? So
Mm. Yeah, and I think it's definitely, I think, helped us, like having 3 children. I think we are a really close family, aren't we? We do so much together, and I think it's just made us well, I've been through separate things which I've talked about separately on other episodes, but I think what we've both been through has made us appreciate every day more.
yeah, well, I appreciate everything. Of course you do.
But we make the most of life, don't we? That's the thing. It's like we make the most of
Better believe it.
every experience, every day.
Yeah.
Really,
Can't take it to the grave, can you?
no, you can't. That's the
Enjoy
thing. You
it.
actually can't. And I think that's the way we live. Really, I mean, we're certainly not frivolous. We're not. I wouldn't say we're not. What's the word? Like, we don't just throw money away. We make, I think, good choices and how we spend, but at the same time, we certainly don't hold back. If we want to experience something,
we don't make good choices. Who takes a family of 5, 3 children to a fancy restaurant, spends ton loads of money to referee arguments the whole time?
Well, we do, because it's an experience, it's a memory,
That's-
isn't it?
no, well,
Well, we don't do fancy restaurants. We could do like McDonald's and have the same experience. And in fact, we've got to do a road trip together, don't we? With
Taco Bell.
yeah, Taco Bell, like whatever. We don't.
I do like the road trips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like going. To be honest, I don't like going to restaurants with the kids. It's
No.
like I'm like a referee. Stop it! You stop it! No, stop it now.
No. But what I'm trying to say is that we live for now, for the moment. We do look to the future, and we do think about obviously securing our children's futures, and we invest in that through their schooling and other
Yep.
things that we do. But we're not saving for a rainy day, should we say?
No, I'm not saving to give them loads of money when I pass away either. I decide to have children, I'll make sure they get the best education possible in my view, and then it's up to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do live life to the fullest, really, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But I think it's certainly things we've experienced, and well, separately, obviously in our childhoods and teenage years, but also when we've come together, and obviously we've been through an awful lot, haven't we, together? Which I think we'll start opening up a bit more about some of that and sharing some of those things in the coming episodes.
Oh, you told me this was a one-off.
This isn't a one-off, Tom. This is a warm-up.
Oh,
This is just a warm-up. So
I gotta loosen up. I'm too tense.
you are.
I'm like, Anna keeps poking me. You don't
Yeah.
see it. Smile more.
am.
Look at the green dot.
Yeah, it's there. You don't need to look at the camera.
I'm not an expert.
All right, should we leave it there today?
Yeah, okay. I gotta hold back now. I got so much more to give.
I would usually I end my podcast episodes by telling people where they can find you and follow you.
Where you can find me and follow me.
Where can people find you and follow you, Tom?
Probably anywhere you put a pin in the map, and I'll be there. Normally driving her.
Yeah. Well, you have got an Instagram account now, haven't you? Actually,
That's the wrong one. I'd have 2 accounts.
he's
And I
got
don't
two.
know.
He
I
doesn't
don't
know.
know.
He doesn't know what's doing.
I'm not big on Instagram. It's
No.
just I'm not.
But
Not that I
you're on
don't.
LinkedIn though, aren't you?
I don't even update that much. I'm just not my. I have
It's not as
accounts.
bad. It's not as bad. But you are on LinkedIn at Tom.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Tom
I
Murphy.
just.
Tom
yeah.
Murphy. Or actually, you are on Instagram at Tom the Transformation Coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
So yeah, you can find him there. Okay. Right.
I've done my best, Hannah.
Right, we're off. We're off
We're
now.
off,
Before we
all
say
right.
anything we shouldn't. Right.
Should.
Bye, everyone.